I didn't put out a review this week, and the month of August in general is going to be fairly slow. So with the release of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I started asking myself, how would I rank Quentin Tarantino's films? And so that's what this video will be, my ranking of Tarantino's feature-length films. So I apologize to any of you out there who are fans of Four Rooms, but he only did a portion of that, so it will not be included. That being said, let's start the countdown. For 10, I'm going Death Proof. It was the second feature on the Grindhouse double feature. And while I think Tarantino is a better director than Robert Rodriguez, I found Planet Terror to be more entertaining than Death Proof. For its premise, Death Proof is just way too long. It drags in a lot of spots for me. Would have been a lot better had they shaved off 20-25 minutes or so. Not a bad film, but my least favorite Tarantino film. Number 9, and I may catch some flack for this one because it's becoming more and more highly regarded, but I'm going Jackie Brown. Once again, not a terrible film by any means, but I just prefer the films ahead of it on this list. Strong cast, killer performance from Pam Grier, and her chemistry with Robert Forster in the film were my favorite aspects. Number 8, I'm going to go Kill Bill. Some will tell you Volume 2 is the better version. I prefer Volume 1. So this is where I'm putting Volume 2. Kill Bill kind of set the bar pretty high. It was pretty epic. Volume 2, it's a little more of the same. Just didn't quite reach the height of its predecessor. And the whole Bill confrontation felt anticlimactic to me. That's pretty much all I got to say about Volume 2. Number 7, I'm going The Hateful Eight. I will say I'm partial to Westerns, and that will come into play later on in the list. As far as The Hateful Eight goes, it has a Reservoir Dogs vibe to it, since it's in one main setting for most of the film. Strong performances, beautifully shot. Like I said, I mean, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Walton Goggins. Sam Jackson always does his thing. Really stand out to me. Pretty entertaining film. 6, I'm going to go Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I did think the Manson family murders would play just a slightly bigger role in the film. This movie is essentially a character study following an actor whose star is fading. But it does have Leo and Brad Pitt at the height of their powers, doing their thing, and that makes for a pretty damn entertaining film. 5, I'm going to go Kill Bill Volume 1. Blends and pays homage to multiple genres, and it's just an entertaining and fun time. Essentially a revenge movie. Uma Thurman kicking ass and crossing off names. Pretty decent choreography and action sequences in this movie. Awesome cast, but like I said, this is Uma Thurman's film, and like Bill, she kills it. 4, I'm gonna go Reservoir Dogs. Is the one that started it all, kind of set the tone for Tarantino's future works. Maybe his shortest film. It's lean, violent, just very well acted. I mean, that cast is probably the highlight for me, and it's one of the greatest independent films of all time. Number 3, I'm going Inglourious Bastards. I mean, come on. Brad Pitt is Aldo the Apache, and his group of Nazi scalpers. Christoph Waltz is the main villain. I mean, this one just, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, it's one of his more mainstream films, one of his more commercially successful films, but I had a lot of fun with Inglourious Bastards. High rewatchability. It's quotable. And it's just one of my favorite Tarantino films. And come on, that whole what if scenario with Hitler, that's some good shit. And I know a lot of Tarantino fans won't have this one this high, but this is just my preference. And as I said before, I'm partial to Westerns. So I'm going Django Unchained. Simple revenge movie that pits Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz against Leo DiCaprio tearing up the screen as Calvin Candy. I mean, like I said, I love Westerns. And this is for me. I love me some Django Unchained. Number 1, I'm going Pulp Fiction. I mean, this one was a game changer for indie films. I think it set the baseline for all of his films after Pulp Fiction. It's highly quotable. It has the best dialogue, I think, of all of his films. Maybe the best dialogue, in at least up there in cinema history. As is the case with most of his films, excellent performances, especially from John Travolta, which Pulp Fiction actually kind of resurrected his career. It's just has a high rewatchability factor for me. Just damn good movie. And there you have it. That's my ranking of Tarantino's films.